Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Scaramouche. Scaramouche was not really... Oh god, how do I say this? I want to be respectful to his feelings and ego, but there's no way I can say this without causing some damage. But the truth is, Scaramouche had no clue whatsoever what you were trying to tell him about. If there was anything you were surprised to know about him, was that despite all of his evil and everything he's done, he was painfully oblivious when it came to romance. At first it was a surprise, but once you knew the background of his life and where he came from and all, it was perfectly understandable. And you honestly just started feeling bad for him, for the fact that he lacked so much, and did not get the affection and love he deserved. But that's fine. You have all the time in the world together now, and you're sure to make up for it somehow. Scaramouche, after all, deserves all the kisses and cuddles and much, much more. And about the more side, you didn't know how to get him to know that. In fact, the idea of him being so clueless almost made you feel bad about desiring to be with him in that manner at all. So, that's why you took it in very slow steps. Kisses on the cheek when you first started dating, cuddles, and making out. Making out was a big step. It was really big. He was startled by it at first, and you just had to take it super slow. And he was honestly cute, a sight to admire when you first started making out with him. It was certainly something that was buried deep in your memories, somewhere where you never wanted it to get out. Something you simply wanted to look back on, and look back on fondly too, because it was special, just like how your love was to him. The two of you shared a very special bond, one that shall last with you a lifetime. But it didn't mean you could go so slowly about this. So that's why today, you wanted to make it a special day, because it would be your first time. And the reason for that is because you've told him before. You have told him all about it beforehand, what it is, and what happens, and everything he needs to know. Since you knew he was beyond clueless. It's like you were talking to a little teenager sometimes. He was even more clueless than teenagers. At least teenagers had some sort of education. But it was horrendous. This man could tell you that the sky was fake and the stars were not real. But to know basic things such as this, it was a little bit incomprehensible for him. So it was a long process. One that took you an entire day to explain. But it's fine. Totally fine. You loved him, and patience was a part of your love. It was part of the package. And you were kind of anxious to say the least, since he was so delicate. It almost felt like you were dealing with fragile glass. But you've dealt with him long enough to know how to cherish him and love him the way he wants best, just like how he loves you, in a way that you want so badly. And that's why today, you make sure to wear a beautiful dress, one that won't make things hard for him, since he already has it difficult, 10 times more than the usual person. You start off by cuddles, soft kisses on the cheek, and just talking about your day before you make out with him, and he starts giving you love bites. And it starts getting more intense and intimate from there. His thoughts going somewhere more wild. And that's when you truly start having fun. It's a whole new experience for you, and Scaramouche as well. And you're beyond exhausted by the time it ends, but happy and relieved that you managed to get there in your relationship. It was an important milestone, one that you'd work well to celebrate. But certainly not today. The two of you were exhausted after that night, after all, and needed to be with each other in just a simple, tender manner where you could appreciate the other's presence. Scaramouche wrapped his arms around your waist, burying his face into your chest as he held you tightly. He was blushing, smiling, and telling you that he loves you, that he's so glad to have you by his side, that he's so glad that you were his first. He would never want this with anyone else, and he's just so happy that he got it with you. You were his first love, first kiss, and first many, many things. And he's so happy that you get to keep that title, because he wants you to. He loves you after all, and he thinks that no one else in the world is as worthy of his love as you are. That's why Scaramouche intends to keep on giving and giving. For as long as he lives, you deserve all of his love. And when you make him breakfast that day, even though you're a little bit tired, he smiles fondly, kissing your cheek and apologizing for being such a horrible cook. But you don't mind anyway. You love everything that you make for him, and never feel like you have to. You only do it out of love. And that's why the two of you stay together for the rest of the day, cuddling close, and just admiring every memory you made up until now. Your first time was not just a fun thing to you. No, it was a milestone, a sign of your love, and a sign of how hard you worked until you got there. How Scaramouche understood the concept of love for the first time in a totally different light. How Scaramouche learned to love and be loved. And, if anything, he's more than glad that you would be his teacher in this matter. He wanted to learn from you, because to Scaramouche, you are the most lovely human being on earth, and he's sure you're lovely for a reason. And he's also quite sure that you have the best kind of love that the world has to offer.